Are we filming? Yes, we are. So welcome to another video. I'm going to file this video under paper-based philosophy because I'm thinking about one particular, it's a suggestion. It is a suggestion. It's not everybody's cup of tea, as we say in the UK, but it could be for some people. And I want you to consider the agony, the difficulty, the conundrum that we all face at this time of year. Some of us have already faced this conundrum and already ordered their diary inserts for next year. But some of us haven't. And for those that haven't, for those that are uncertain, this is my suggestion. And the agony I'm talking about is the size of diary, the format of diary, because we all would like to have enough space to write, to make entries into our diary for the coming year on the appropriate page. But by the same token, we don't want that diary to take up so much space that we might need a second binder or might need a separate personal organizer just for the diary. I blow hot and cold over this. I have been, in the past, I have been a fan of having everything in one place. This is my filofaxes Sherwood, which I have used on a daily basis since 1993. Although these days it doesn't have a diary. It has a set, as you can see, of not 13, but 26 alphabetical tabs. And I store facts in here, like passwords and email addresses, renewal dates, etc., etc. But lately, as you know, I have been carrying I'm a big fan at the moment of the smaller, i.e. the mini size, 5 rings, filofax and other manufacturers. And I have that as a diary. And then I have other things in other binders, typically a slimline binder. So I spread things around. So I have a little bit more space, but I do like the mini format for a diary, just exclusively a diary with a few pages extra, just in case I need to jot something down, just in case it's the only binder I have in my jeans pocket. But my suggestion is very, very simple. At least you should consider it. I think you should consider going for an unusual format rather than a week on 2 pages or a week on a single page, something like that. Consider going for a day on 2 pages. And there is a reason for that. And when I say a day on 2 pages, I mean either a day on opposing pages or a day on the same sheet, i.e. the day extends from the one side of a sheet to the other. There's two ways of doing this, and those are the 2 ways. And why would I suggest that? Because as you can imagine, that would require 365 separate sheets, which, even if you're using very thin paper, is not going to fit in one of these. It might just about fit in a binder with larger rings, but that's a huge amount of paper to lug around. But by the same token, this thought of a perfect diary in terms of real estate, in terms of having enough space in your diary for all eventualities to cover you even on busy days, certainly haunts me like some mythical holy grail. So Why am I suggesting that you go for a ridiculous amount of space, i.e. a day on 2 pages? It's for one fundamental reason. It allows you to add pages, and they are clearly aligned with one single day. If you have a day that is spread, that covers opposing pages, then you can slip them in the middle. And if you have a day that covers one page and on the other side of the sheets there's the next page, you can have them immediately afterwards. But crucially, before you get to the next day. So from a psychological point of view, there's no mix-up. And I have tried that. And right now I am trying it in mini format, and it works very well. Can I get 360? I mean, this particular binder has 11mm rings, so it's not going to get more than about 80 sheets of thin, in my case 50 GSM Clairefontaine paper. You're not going to get more than maybe 80 sheets. So typically I will have 2 months and then a few extra sheets. So it's not overstuffed, because I don't want to damage the rings on what can potentially be a very expensive binder. I quite like doing this, and it's through some experimentation personally, although obviously I'm trying different. I like experimenting. I quite like the day on 2 pages with, in my particular case, 2 months, just 2 months. And that leads me on to another question. Obviously it's nice to have a diary that covers the whole year. But many of you out there will just be buying your inserts now. And the moment before you buy those inserts, let's say you buy them today, there's only 3 more weeks to the end of the year. So effectively, you are, by inference, you are allowing your forward planning to be restricted to the next 21 days of diary, plus maybe some notes if you have any appointments for the following year, which you haven't got round to entering into your new inserts for the new year, because you're only just buying them today. What I'm saying is that not everybody needs to have a rolling 365-day diary. In fact, as we know, the market leaders don't even produce the following year's diary until well into the existing year. So maybe April, you may not be able to get your diary from, say, and I'm talking about filofaxes. I believe it used to be you had to wait until the autumn before you could get them. It's slightly improved. So you have to wait till April. So well into the new year. So if you want to go for a rolling 365-day diary with filofaxes, it's not possible. It is possible with other manufacturers, as we know, but the market leaders, in their infinite wisdom, don't allow you to do that. I think it's probably something to do with that they just haven't got the shelf space, or it's cheaper not to have that much paper in storage. So there is this inherent potential to have to write a note and then jot it down when you get the inserts, when you get your new diary, whether that's at the beginning of April, if you like the filofaxes brands, or maybe just jotting them down on a separate sheet. And the question is, how many, not including birthdays, because everybody has lots of birthdays to remember. but actual appointments ahead of schedule. Do I need to write down? Well, for me right now, because I had a look just before I sat down, I had a coffee, and then I counted them. Six appointments in Neil's future. There are 6 appointments I've had to attend in the future. That's not many. So if that is the case, that you don't have that many, maybe you could jot those appointments down on a single sheet of paper even. Or maybe, and this is my suggestion that you should consider, if you have a day on 2 pages, and if you have a limited number of days that you can fill a binder, in my case there's 60 in here, in a standard size personal filofax. If you're using it as a diary and nothing else, you could probably fit maybe 180. So that would be 180 days. So around about half a year. So say between 2 months and 6 months. If you have a little bit extra space, as I do in here, and you have any day in the future beyond the scope of the pages that you have in your personal organizer, just add them manually. As you know, I'm a fan of writing my own sheets, and I just let's find one without an appointment. So here we go. Christmas Eve, and you can see that it's all handwritten. You know that I like this format of rectangles rather than lines, because it's visually more appealing to me. And then I write the date manually, and not every day, but every week I just create another 7 of these and just add them in, and I take a few out. So it's a rolling diary for me of typically 60 days. Just if you have a diary entry that you need to add, just make one and just add it, so that you can just add it to the ends of your diary. So you have 60 days, in my case, 60 days plus 6 appointments stretching over the next 5 or 6 months, I believe, are in here as well. So I am covered for the next 365 days, but I'm only using in this particular case, 65 sheets, and each one of those is 2 days to a page. And that means that if I have, and I didn't at the time, but when I had this busy period during the summer where one of my children got married, there were several days where even 2 days to a page, I was doing a day to a page, but now I'm thinking maybe 2 days to a page would have been better. The crucial thing is that you can add, in my particular OCD, the way I think, I would rather have 2 days to a page rather than 1 day to a page, for that purpose, so that you don't need to, that there is clarity when you add extra pages, supplementary pages to a diary. Does that make sense? Hopefully. I do chop and change, obviously, and this is not something that I would recommend to everyone. It's something that I'm going to try, but I'm also next year going to try a week on 1 page as well, just to see how that feels. I run several diaries simultaneously, just to just to experiment. But I am certainly thinking about carrying on with this trial of 2 days to a page. And that seems to work really, really well, particularly because it gives me the opportunity to, instead of having a separate to-do list, and this is an important thing to think about. If you have enough space to add your to-do list into your diary, then you can have date-specific items added to your diary, and you would have plenty of space. And that's something that I'm going to be trying, and I will report back. And I'll do a separate video about that. But there's a lot to think about there. But I just wanted to share with you my thoughts about whether a 2 days to a page diary would actually be very, very effective. Time will tell. But if any of you out there found these thoughts useful, then let me know. Let me know what your opinions are. Thank you very much for watching. Until my next video, goodbye.